It's round of 16 time for the men's under 20 FIFA World Cup, and slots are still up for grabs. So far, one team knows where they're going to be, and that's Morocco. But let's talk about the groups. What's going on? We're even halfway through one group, deciding how they will fit as they're just wrapping up halftime. But let's get into the action as to what we need to talk about here today. So we're talking about what was and what is coming up in terms of the under 20 FIFA Men's World Cup. So match day two came and went. Again, Africans, Canadian African content, because it wouldn't be the Africans if we didn't do the other one. Let's talk about what we know so far. Match day two, good results. Panama drawing Ukraine on Tuesday. We had Egypt falling to New Zealand, Mexico drawing Spain, Italy drawing Cuba. Cuba getting two late penalties and able to pull through. Morocco, I think, are the story of the tournament so far. 2-1 over Brazil. USA, three late goals to win it over France. And then Nigeria with a late winner, and then South Africa with a dominant win over New Caledonia in terms of it. And as we're recording here, we do have South Korea over Panama, as well as Paraguay and Ukraine, which are drawn. So we're looking at the African teams. What do we know so far? So let's kind of jump over here. So far, Morocco is the only team that is slotted in, and they're going to be playing the third place team of either A, B, or F. And in that comes some important information in terms of where the standings and for the groups are. Let's jump to the groups and what they look like. Right now, Egypt would need a big win in their final matchup to have a chance to make it to the second round. Panama in Group B would have to turn it around and get a win. They need 4 points to do so. Morocco are ahead, and right now, because there's so few wins in this group. Only Morocco have one. And Morocco play Mexico, then Spain versus Brazil, and both playing at the same time. Mexico would need a win just to guarantee them moving on, because at this point, a draw isn't safe, especially with the looming facts of either Brazil or Spain winning their final matchup. So Mexico a win versus Morocco, which to me might be the game of the tournament in the group round so far. Guys, keep your peel for that. Keep your eyes peeled for that game as it is. Cuba with a draw are still alive, but they would need a big result in their final matchup when it comes in. I believe Cuba would then play in their final matchup. Cuba will play Australia, who have lost 1-0 to Italy and then 4-1 to Argentina. So Cuba could have a fighting chance in this game. We would have to wait and kind of see what is possible for them. USA are going through. Their 6 points will put them into the round 16, but they haven't topped the group as of yet. And same with South Africa. That big win over New Caledonia does open the door. France, I believe, will then play New Caledonia, which effectively opens that up for them. USA versus South Africa, big matchup. I think if South Africa is able to get a win, perhaps that bodes a little bit better for them as they move forward. We'll have to wait and see. That game is happening on the 5th, so that's going to be Sunday coming up. So, somewhere in between all that Prem League that you're watching, watch the kids here. Nigeria fighting a big win for them to get out of the group as it stands. Their final game is against Colombia, so that could be a mouth-watering affair as well, where they would have to have a win versus Colombia to really guarantee their spot in terms of where they are. And the second place sides. The second place sides are where this gets very interesting as it stands. Currently, we have a lot of representation from CONCACAF as well as CAF in the second place side. South Africa, Nigeria, Panama, and Cuba are all sitting at second place. And this is where getting the wins for those teams. South Africa win versus the might be a little bit more difficult. Nigeria as well, New Zealand, and then Panama a win here. This could be a very fascinating side, a very fascinating end run for this. So you guys let me know what you have liked so far. Who's looking good to you? What players have you seen that have stood out so far in their games? I need to give a shout out to one player that was brought to my attention, and he scored in the big win versus Egypt for New Zealand. So I need to give them that player some recognition because they say, hey, look out for Luke Brooks Smith. Luke Brooks Smith looks like a good one. He just had his call up for the New Zealand. So good to see him playing. He's played national team minutes as well. So we'll see what he's able to do in this tournament and if he can guide New Zealand on. But so far, which players have stood out to you? Which teams have stood out to you? I think Morocco right now is the talk of this tournament. That game versus, yes, and I will say that game versus Mexico might just be the game of the group stage so far. That group overall, though, Group C have given us banger of games, right? We've had Morocco, Mexico, Brazil, and Spain. Morocco over Spain, Brazil drawing Mexico, Mexico drawing Spain. Their last matchups on tomorrow. That might be the matchup of the tournament. You guys let me know what you think, who you're rooting for, and as always, I'm going to stop talking right here.